and ideas expressed in this podcast are solely those of the authors and guests of the podcast. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Soberless Thoughts.
That's Alex Gorley.
That's Michael Rodenbeck.
And these are all our Soberless Thoughts. And tonight, we are celebrating spring break. I feel like I'm too old for spring break almost, but I'm going to live it up anyways.
Yeah. We're going to do it one more year. We're fifth year seniors.
I'm like 15th year senior.
fifth year.
Yeah. Tonight we are drinking, I'm drinking a pina colada out of my Viking horn.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. What about you there, Mr. Gorley?
Me, little old me. I'm definitely going to be drinking pina colada, but it's a little bit more. Now, is yours frozen?
Oh yeah.
See, I kind of just made mine with a little bit of rum. I had some pineapple juice, and kind of just mixed in a little bit of kind of coconut milk and just kind of mix it up real good. Not as going to be as frothy as yours, but it'll be good.
So what I did was I went to the liquor store and I started buying all of the ingredients, or I started collecting in my shopping cart all the ingredients that I would need for said pina colada, right?
Yeah.
And then as I go to the mixer aisle, I'm looking for this coconut mixer that was on my list. And while I'm there, I see Chi-Chi's Pina Colada Mix.
Yeah.
All you need to do is add ice in the blender and you're done.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's way easier. When I usually make it, I use what is it? If I was actually making like a legit one, I was kind of running out of time, but I like to do like light rum, like Bacardi Light, just like a clear rum. I like to use a little bit of banana liqueur. Then I like to use a little bit of pineapple juice. Then I like to use that. I don't know what to call it. It's not coconut milk. No, it is coconut milk. But it's not like, I don't know. It's not coconut milk you get at the store out of the milk aisle. It's like comes in a can and it's like condensed almost. It's like thick and chunky. Like it's not milk. It's not like put it on your cereal because it looks like chunks.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. Condensed milk.
Yeah. They have it in the mixer aisle. I like to mix all that together with some ice. If I really want to do it up, I will add a little bit of coconut water to it too, just to kind of lighten it up. But just depends, and rehydrate. Electrolytes, yada yada.
Oh yeah, of course. Got to throw some of that white Gatorade in there. Dude, so I got the Chi-Chi's Pina Colada Mix, and then on the bottle it said for like a pint or something, a glass, like to put X amount in there, and it said, or for a pitcher to put like this amount in there and fill the blender with ice. So of course that's what I did, and my pitcher's empty now, and it took two whole horns, Viking horns, to empty out the pitcher, and I'm halfway done with my second horn right now.
Yeah. Before
we even get this party started.
Viking on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing tonight.
Yeah. And also, well, we'll get to that in a second. In lieu of spring break, do you also have a beer with you to chug?
I got beers in the fridge.
Yeah. Definitely a light one if you got it.
I got a Bud Light.
Yeah, grab one of those. I'll say we'll chug a lug as well since it's spring break.
All right,
2020.
We'll chug. Let me go get a Bud Light and we'll chug.
All right. chug. I'll tell everybody home, man. I really wanted to shotgun a beer, but this man did not want to mess up his flooring of his house, which is not very spring break like, but damn it, I got to respect it. I will say this, man, shout out to a couple products I've seen out there on Instagram. If you were going out to spring break, I feel like I'm about to do a commercial for that all of a sudden. I saw one, it was called like Kong Bong or something. It was like a beer bong in a koozie. And basically you're chilling and you're like, you know what? I'm not drinking this beer fast enough. And you hook that shit on the bottom, throw that shit up, boom. Kong Bong or something. I don't know. And I was, of course, I was telling Mike over here, who's back, about the other one I saw, which was the koozie that was also a fishing line, which made so much sense. The guy that could, or it was a fishing pole. That's what it was. All right. You ready to do this?
I have my my delicious beverage.
Yeah, I've got a Yingling because that's the lightest thing I had here.
I think this is the can that I dropped on the concrete when I accidentally opened up my case earlier.
Oh yeah,
it's all dented to shit and back, and I think it's dripping a little bit too.
Nice.
All right.
Spring break.
Did you finish yours? There we go. Yummy.
Just like college.
And that brings us right to our pina coladas.
Yeah. It's like what is it? It's like the margarita where, you know, the beer-ritas where they put the beer in the margarita, but we just did it without putting it in the pina colada.
It's bad that you have to chase your beer with a with a mix to drink.
Yeah, no kidding.
It is so good though. I'm even using, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm using a straw in my Viking horn.
I see that. That's what sets it off. That's like really what ties the outfit and everything that's going on right now. Like I like it. Like if we go to the beach together, you're bringing the Viking horn and a straw.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have it. I got it because it came with a thing that I can wear it around my neck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like when I saw that, I remember thinking, like, if we go to a beer fest, you got to bring it.
Oh, and I will. No doubt. This is my favorite thing to drink out of now. I love it. Maybe one of my favoriteest ever present spot for me.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. I feel like I go through waves of things I like to drink out of. Like I used to love drinking out of this little mug that I took from an old job. I guess it doesn't matter anymore because I don't even think there's any around. But I used to work at Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And the bar or the restaurant I was working at closed. Right. So everyone just started grabbing stuff. Like they came in and basically was like, hey, no one has a job here anymore. And we've been lying to you all summer about us closing down. But like I think I'd already done it before then. But like, man, people were like stealing liquor bottles and stuff. I just I don't even think I took anything that night. I think I just accidentally took one of those home or something like that. But the funny thing is it's a beer that doesn't actually fit a full can of beer, but for some reason everything that goes in that glass goes down really easily.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Brandon who I'm good buddies with, who is maybe the fastest chugger of beer I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
And he will be on the podcast this summer.
Yeah.
When we're recording live from the back deck.
Nice.
And he is that episode we're going to do some PBR.
Oh.
And that's what he's going to chug, and he's going to attempt to break the Guinness Book World Record of chugging the beer to the fastest.
Yeah.
And
can I challenge him to not just any beer? I want to challenge him drinking Irish car bombs, what we say in America, but over in Ireland, sorry. A car bomb.
Well, he's going to try and beat the record with PBR.
I know. Well, I want to see that first, but then I want to do a one-on-one challenge of Guinness with a half shot of Jameson and Bailey's dropped in it and down,
and see who can chug it the fastest.
Yeah,
I mean he will accept your challenge. I guarantee it.
Sweet. I just want you to know this is going down. He's probably gonna out chug me, but I used to back when I was a spring breaker. I wasn't the fastest beer chugger, but for some reason I could chug Guinness like no other.
Okay. All right.
And like those heavier beers, I've got a strategy. Like heavy beers I can chug.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's on is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You just got to get your ass up here as well.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight and in celebration of spring break, we are going to be talking about the disappearance of Brian Shaffer on spring break.
Okay.
Do you know who Brian Shaffer was or about his disappearance?
I don't know. Like part of me feels like when I heard Brian Shaffer, it made me think of like a dude, like a person. Like it made me think of an actor that you can't ever think of the guy's name, but you're like, oh, it's that dude who was also in this. Oh, he's also that dude, but you don't know his name. That's what his name reminded me of.
Yeah.
That or someone I went to high school with.
Yeah. Well, he's a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
And it's not he wasn't played by Ben Affleck in a movie. All right. So Ben Shaffer. First, I'm gonna give you the facts and the timeline in the story as to what happened. Okay. And then I think we should go into like some of the like top scenarios as to what people think happened or what could have possibly happened.
Yeah.
We'll spitball and do our little brainstorming session like we always do. And then I will let you know what I think actually happened.
Okay.
And because I think that, as we've stated before in this podcast, there's really no mystery that we can't solve.
Yeah.
When we put our brains together, we can clarify everything that the universe has thrown at us.
Yeah.
So here's the facts. Brian Shaffer was 27 years old, was in his second year of med school at The Ohio State University.
Okay.
All right. And he disappeared on April Fool's Day at like 2:00 in the morning.
Okay.
From a bar on High Street in Columbus called The Ugly Tuna Saloona.
Is that the bar or the name of the road?
That's the name of the road is High Street.
Oh,
The name of the bar is the Ugly Tuna Saloona.
the Ugly Tuna Saloona.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I personally, because I'm the same age as this guy, went to the Ugly Tuna Saloona as a college kid
Yeah.
at Wright State, and would drive up to Columbus on the weekends to party up there because they had far better parties at at OSU than they did at Wright State.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so I was frequently driving up to Columbus on the weekends and partying up there on High Street, and I had been to this bar in this time frame. This happened in 2006. Okay. And I was going up there before then, even like in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
So I've been to this bar. I know this bar. I've been to this bar like I don't know, at least a dozen times. But this is where he disappears from. Okay. So here's the timeline for the day. This is March 31st, 2006. He goes to dinner with his pops. They go to Outback. They get some steak, right? A lot of the media makes it out like they're going out for a good time, but really him and his daddy didn't get along at all. Mm-hmm. And the reason that they were going out was because 3 weeks prior to this, his mom, and he was a big time mama's boy, had passed away of cancer. So he's depressed. The dad's depressed. Him and the dad never really got along. They go out to dinner to try and see if they can actually like make something of the relationship now that mommy's gone, you know?
Yeah.
Some people say that allegedly at this dinner, the dad actually said, "Hey, we're cutting you off," because they were paying for his tuition and like his apartment and all that shit in Columbus. And they're like, "Hey, yeah, that's done. You're paying for all this shit now."
Yeah.
Obviously, that can't be corroborated, you know, but supposedly
it would make sense, you know.
It would make sense, yeah. Because now he's on his own. He can't pay for the kid's shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so it's just the dad now, the son, and he has a younger brother named Derek, but he's not at the dinner. So dinner goes how it goes. He goes back to his apartment. Now he's waiting for his buddy Clint, right? Used to be his roommate. Now he's just a buddy. Clint shows up at his apartment and they walk to the bar. They walk to the ugly Tuna Saloona, which is approximately 6 blocks from his apartment.
Okay.
Definitely walking distance.
Yeah.
So they walk to the bar. They're there for a little bit. They get there like 10:30, some shit like that. Then they go bar hopping. And according to Clint, they basically march their asses up High Street, hopping in and out of each of these bars. And each bar that they go into, they do a shot. And then they go to the next bar. And they work their way all the way down to the Arena District, which is about 2 miles away. And they get down, and once they get all the way down there, they want to head back up to the ugly Tuna because they like the band that's playing up there, right? Well, they don't want to walk the 2 miles all the way back up. You know, it's fun walking down that way when you're drinking shots at every bar that you stop at.
Yeah, no kidding.
But once you're down there and you drink all them shots, you're like, well, fuck, I need to ride back up there. So they call their good friend Meredith up. Meredith comes, picks them up, drives them back up to the Ugly Tuna Saloona. So now you're at like 1:15 in the morning, okay?
Yeah, by the way, side note, why is it like just to analyze like why is it when you're hammered sometimes walking is the easiest thing? You could walk a marathon with the right buzz. But there's other times it's like you go too far into the abyss and it like a block seems like the most treacherous journey. And it's so, and like you're sweating, you're out of breath. You're like, oh, what the, oh my God. Like, it's just terrible.
Yeah. It just depends on what phase of the buzz you're at.
Yeah. Which I guess, you know, reeing up, getting a shot every time, you're like, I'm numb, I'm numb, I'm numb. Now, like, now we got to walk back. Ugh, I'm too numb.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mandy and I did that in downtown Cincinnati. We walked like the entire city and we're like, now our feet hurt and we've completely lost all of our all of the buzz that we had gained before we left the bar.
Oh yeah.
And now I was like, okay, now this sucks.
And
I think you actually came and picked us up.
That might have.
Yeah.
I will say I was at a bar one time and my buddy who was driving goes like, hey man, he's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to head back to the house. He's like, you want to go? I'm like, no, man, I kind of want to stay. He goes, well, I'm leaving. I'm like, okay. I was like, I guess I'll just catch a ride. And the funny thing is, I knew I didn't know anyone in this bar to actually catch a ride. But for some reason, I was like, maybe I'll get a ride with somebody. And it was like a bar we kind of frequented at the time. But 2:30 hits, I'm hammered. I didn't catch a ride. So then I just start walking. And I walk downtown Lexington. And it, like, let me put it this way. It was like, and I was dressed pretty nice. Like, you know, I got like dress shoes on, like nice pair of pants. I've got, you know, the douchey black button up. I was trying to like be all suave. And I go, I'm trying to think how many miles that is. The funny thing is, like, as I'm sitting there thinking about it, I'm like, I don't actually remember. Like, to this day, like I remember one part of it, but I don't remember another. But maybe I do. But anyway, like I would say I walked probably 4 or 5 miles, and I still had probably another 3 or 4 to go. And a complete stranger pulls over. He goes, hey man, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, I just got left at the bar. I'm just making my way back home. And he's like, you want me to give you a ride? And me being drunk, I was like, sure, appreciate it. And I get in this dude's car with him, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm a pretty good judge of character off the bat. And he's like, where do you live? I'm like, oh, like right up here, like a couple miles up at this other kind of like area that was like a lot of college kids. And he's like super, super nice, like church people nice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you okay, buddy?
Right.
You need a ride? I was like, yeah, man. Hell, I just made a new friend. And we're driving. I'm like, hey, man, how was your night? He goes, it was pretty good. I was like, oh, yeah, what'd you get into? He goes, oh, me and a bunch of people, we were playing Scrabble.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, what'd you do? I was like, I got hammered at a bar. And my ride left me, and I walked home until you picked me up. And then he dropped me off. And that was the end of the story. But it's just crazy now to think, like if it was a freaking, you know, human trafficker, I'm like, oh, you want me getting this windowless van? Sure, buddy. Yeah. You got a beer?
Yeah. You got some candy in the back? I'd like some. It sounds delicious.
Yeah, right. You need me to help you move a couch? Cool.
Oh, man. Which serial killer was it that always did that? God.
Well, I was doing the reference from Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah. Let me put this up in here.
Yeah. And I gotta say something that, like, I know it's not PC now, but I've heard like comedians say this, but I actually got my wife to watch Silence of the Lambs, which to me is like a cornerstone of our relationship, of me getting her to watch scary-ish type movies.
Yeah.
And I got her to watch it because she likes all the murder mysteries and like pretty much every horrific thing people do to one another. Like that's her Netflix queue. She's got like this murderer, or she's got like this kidnapper, or she's like, watching both of those and splitting it up with surviving R. Kelly or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Which I even made a comment the other day. She was like, "What do you want to watch?" I was like, "Something happy."
Right.
But so because she likes all that, I was like, all right, Silence of the Lambs. It's a thriller. It's more thriller than gore. And it's like more of the, psychological part of it. But like I rewatched it. I hadn't watched it like since high school. And the part where Buffalo Bill is sitting there and he's at his house and Clarice comes to the door and she's like, "Yeah, have you seen this person?" And he goes, "Is she a big fat person?" Something about how he said it and how awkward that would have, like, how awkward is that to say to another human being? "Is she a big fat person?" Like, like, I mean, she had a little extra weight, but I mean, I wouldn't go all that far. But it was the awkwardness of what he said that made me laugh so hard. And I was like, I don't even think I laughed about that the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But now that I understand, awkwardness of regular conversation.
Yeah. Brian Shaffer. All right, we're steering back on the course.
Yep, that's right.
All right.
So it was one
Where
something
did I
in the
leave
morning.
off? Okay, 1:15-ish in the morning.
Yep.
The three of them. So now it's Brian, Clint, and Meredith.
Yep.
And they head back to the Ugly Tuna Saloona. Okay. Now this is Columbus. They've got security cameras like literally fucking everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They were like the most CCTV'd city in all of Ohio by far, by like double.
Yeah.
So there's security camera footage of them going into the bar at 1:15 in the morning, something like that.
Okay.
And then you see the next time you see him on the video is at 1:55 in the morning, and he's outside of the bar, standing next to the escalator. The way that this bar is, it's in a complex, okay? With like a bunch of other businesses. There's like a movie theater next to it, and a couple other bars and shit. And this is up on the second floor. Okay. So you have to go up either stairs or an escalator. There's one way in, one way out.
Okay.
You go up the stairs or the escalator, and there's a camera right there at the top of the escalator and the stairs that shows everybody going in and out. Okay.
Yeah.
So you see him coming out. It's like 1:55 in the morning, and he's outside talking to these two girls, like clearly like flirting with these two girls, right?
Yeah.
Well, dude's got a girlfriend.
Ooh.
He's been with this girl named Alexis.
Lexus?
Yeah, Alexis. For like 9 months now, right?
Yeah.
And they're actually planning a spring vacation to Miami. And they're supposed to be flying out of Columbus on Monday. And he just called her earlier, or maybe she called him, maybe he called her. I've heard different stories from different sources. Either way, they got on the phone at some point earlier in the night, and he basically was talking all this, "You're the best, baby. I love you. I love you so much. Can't wait to go on this spring break with you to Miami, blah, blah, blah." Some people think, "Oh, wow, he's such a nice guy. He's like really talking up his girl," right?
Yeah.
Other people are like, listening to what he was saying. They're like, I don't know. It kind of sounds like, knowing that he disappeared that night, like maybe he was saying goodbye.
Okay.
Like maybe it was his little, it's not you, you're an amazing person, it's me type of speech without having to say it before he, up and vanish.
Yeah.
Regardless, night goes on. Now it's 1:55 in the morning. He's supposedly drunk. He's outside of this bar, flirting it up with these two girls. The one girl actually gives him her phone number.
Nice.
And then you see the two girls leave because it's 2:00. 2:00's closing. It's closing time. And how college bars are, Alex.
Yeah.
When it's closing time at a college bar, what's it like being a bartender working in a college bar at closing time?
Oh, it is straight chaos. It's herding cats, man. It's like it's basically like the best thing you do is turn the lights on so everyone's blinded. They're like, oh, and they're like, oh my God, you're not, you're not who I thought you were.
The 10s turned to 7s.
Yeah. And you're like, wow, that was some good mood lighting. But then there's also the guys that are like, huh? Oh God, it's already that time. What's left?
Yeah.
That 10 that is now a 5, that'll do. But even then, like once their vision adjusts,
that'll do, pig. That'll do.
I mean, let's be real here. Hey, and I guarantee you, it's not just dudes that are doing that too. They're like, oh yeah, that fucking slob.
Yeah,
you'll do, you fucking pig. But yeah, then so once their vision adjusts to the shock of reality that you just doused them with, well, then they just go right the fuck back to what they were doing, and they all just turn and keep talking to each other. And then you got to get like, it's funny how violent and aggressive the bartenders and bouncers have to be, and none of them are phased.
Yeah.
Like normally you would get pretty upset if someone was like, get the fuck out and you all are getting this damn butt, just screaming, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, when you're that hammered and that young, you're just like, yeah, man, we're leaving. Hey, you have a good night. I said, leave, bitch. Yeah, I love you too, man. I'll see you next week. Like, it's just not the same thing.
So this is the exact situation happening at this bar at this time, right?
Yeah, right.
The bartenders and the security at the bar just shoving everybody out. Get the fuck out. Like you just said, screaming, get out,
yeah.
Right? Shuffling, herding cats.
Yeah.
Get out. Right. So this is what happens. And the Meredith and Clint, you see them on a security camera, exit, stage left, go down the escalators to their car. You see them looking around. You see them making phone calls. They're calling Brian. Where are you at, man? We can't find you. Where are you at?
Yeah.
Can't get a hold of him. So that off they go, right? They're gone. Now it's Saturday day. Alexis is blowing up her boyfriend, trying to get a hold of him. She was in Toledo, which is why she didn't go out with him that night, because Meredith was actually one of her friends.
Ah.
Okay. Can't get a hold of him. Doesn't know where he's at. Dad starts calling him. Can't get a hold of him. Doesn't know where he's at. Derek, the younger brother, was actually supposed to go out with him that night, but he went to a stand-up comedy show.
Nice.
And instead with his girlfriend, and then said he was too tired afterwards from laughing so much. It must have been an Alex Corley show.
You damn right it was.
And had to go home to recover from all the belly laughing he was doing. So actually, this time of frame, it might have been on Mike Odenbeck show.
Yeah.
In 2006. So then he goes home. Nobody can get a hold of Brian, right?
Yeah.
So now it's Monday. Alexis is at the airport, ready to fly to Miami. Hasn't got a hold of her boyfriend all weekend. Doesn't show up for the flight. Freaking out. That's when the police really start looking and are really starting to get worried, right?
Yeah.
So they go to the Ugly Tuna Saloona, which is the last place anybody's seen him alive. They pull all the security video, and in the process of their search, they actually count and cross off every single person that walks into that bar that night as they go in and as they come out. So this guy in the Hawaiian t-shirt with a lei goes in. Okay, where's he at coming out? There he is coming out. Okay, cross him off the list. Next person. This person goes in, comes out, right?
Yeah.
So they do that for like literally every single person that goes into the bar. The only person that they can't find that comes out of the bar is Brian Shaffer.
Huh.
Like he never even left the bar.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you find out later that, well, shit, this wasn't the only exit, the only way out of the bar. There was a back door. And that's where like the band came in and out of. And that's where like most of the staff came in and out of. And there is a video camera in the hallway for the back door. And the police have that video footage, but of course they haven't released that to the public. And they say that they watched that and they didn't see Brian on that either.
Yeah.
But the last thing that he said to Clinton Meredith before he separated with them in the bar was, hey, I'm going to go talk to the band. And right as he walked away from them was when the lights clicked on and everybody's like, all right, everybody get the fuck out. Da, 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 da. And they got pushed out of the bar.
Huh.
So this is what happened. Those are the facts.
Okay.
That's what we know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I think I got everything. Oh, here's another tidbit of information. Supposedly, Brian Shaffer was going to propose to Alexis while they were in Miami, even though they'd only been together for 9 months. But previously, Brian had dated a girl for 8 years and never even thought about proposing to her.
Yeah.
So this guy, okay, I told you he was a med student, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second year med student. He'd already got a degree in like biochemistry or some shit like that. But his passion was being a rock star. That's what he wanted to do.
Nice.
His favorite band was Pearl Jam. He had this Pearl Jam Stickman tattooed on his bicep. Okay. He loved playing the guitar. His goal in life, he always said, was to live on a beach somewhere and live like Jimmy Buffett would want to live. That was his goal in life. And the way to get there was to be a doctor, to make as much money as he could in the shortest amount of time as he could, to retire and go play his guitar on a beach somewhere, sipping margaritas and smoking weed, like
yeah,
and just chilling.
Yeah.
That was his goal in life.
Nice. That's a good goal.
Right. So knowing that about this guy, here are the scenarios as to what could have possibly happened. Number one, he just simply walked away from his life.
Yep. Thought that.
Yeah.
Definitely that crossed my mind first. It was just, him and his dad not talking. His mom passed away. He seemed interested in other ladies a little bit, or maybe he just wanted to be free. And maybe he just just was like, what? I don't like the way this is going, and just left. But where did he go?
And how did he get out of the bar?
Yeah. Now, part of me's thinking maybe he got out with the band. Like, maybe every time they see the footage, he's hidden. Because if a band could be a big group of people, like if there's 5 members and let's say a couple groupies or maybe a bus driver, like you're talking about a group that's lumped up in a grainy film, an extra face in the crowd, you might not notice.
So now I listened to this podcast today about this guy. And the guy doing the podcast is a local guy from Columbus, a local band music guy from Columbus.
Yeah.
And when he found out who the band was that was playing that night, he said he about shit himself because he knows all 3 of the guys that are in that band.
Ah.
Right. And he's like, fuck. He's like, I personally know these guys. I'm buddies with these guys. So he calls them up and he asked them if they remember, because this was huge news in Columbus at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, do you guys remember that night and remember playing at the Tuna that night and what happened? And all 3 of these guys remember that night, like remember it well.
Yeah.
And they said that they did go out. They did go out that back door. And they said that there was a whole big group of people that the bar security and people shoved out that back door with them when there was closing time. He said they said there was like 20 people. Most of them, they had no idea who they even were.
Yeah.
All got shoved out that back door with them when it was closing time.
Yeah.
So it's a very good possibility that he was one of those random group of people, especially if what Clinton Meredith said that, he was going to go talk to the band right before closing time happened.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right. And then he just got shoved out that back door with him. And then, then that brings up, why won't the police release that video?
Maybe it shows their own, like, that where they messed up, because they're like, I don't know, like my wife's been watching the Cecil Hotel, I think that's what it is, and the
documentary I think it's on Netflix or something.
Yeah, and it kind of brightened my mind a little bit about internet investigators, where these people will comb over footage like obsessively, and enough people doing it, someone might finally see something that no one else saw. These people it's insane to me, the level of analysis on a single 30-second video,
Yeah. Well, the guy this podcast was talking about, he's like, I got friends in like the production of like movies and shit who like that's their job, is to sit around and look at videos, look at daily takes and stuff to catch, like their eyes are trained to catch shit in the background and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wanted that video to send to those people so that they could watch it to see if they can find him, because if anybody would find him, it's somebody like that.
See, not toot my own horn or anything, I swear I think I could be one of those people. Not like, but like the production dudes, I couldn't tell you how many times I've looked at my wife and be like it'll just be like the quickest clip. Like we were watching what the hell is it? Like Name That Tune, right? and we're watching that, and like it pans over the crowd. I'm like, oh my god, did you see the old woman in the third row up? And she goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, the old woman third row up with a big feather in her hair. And they're like, no. And then we rewind it, and she was like, oh my god, that's hilarious. How did you see that? I'm like, how did you not?
Right.
But yeah, that's me. Like, I see random stuff like that for whatever reason. It usually has to be humorous in my eyes. If it's not funny, I don't care.
Well, then I don't know. Maybe this would work for you. Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah, right.
Maybe if he's like, oh, that's a funny guy.
Yeah. Look at those glasses. I don't know.
What? So here's the thing about the scenario. So if he walks away from his life,
Yeah.
like, so he's got this grand plan to do it while he's fucked up from doing all these different shots at all these different bars. Like, that's not really the best, state of mind to be in to do your escape plan.
I mean, or it was all a setup to begin with.
That's what I'm thinking. or he was, because a lot of witnesses at the bar that night say that, yeah, he wasn't like completely like falling down wasted, but he seemed like he was pretty drunk.
Yeah.
I can pretend to be pretty drunk.
Yeah.
If I needed to.
Especially if you have just a little bit, like just enough to make you feel warm inside, you can really turn that dial up.
Oh yeah. Dude,
yeah.
There's been times at the bar where I've pretended to be completely wasted, where I was 100% sober, just to get out of whatever bullshit my girlfriend at the time was trying to get me into.
Yeah. And
I can't do that. I'm just like, damn, like, how much did you have to drink? Wow. We're like, holy shit. You know? And I just played it off like that. So, and he wasn't that wasted to where he's like having full on conversations with girls and shit, trying to pick them up, getting their numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. So here's scenario number 2 is suspicious activity.
Nice.
Okay. Let's say he does make it out that back door, right?
Yep.
Gets out there. Now, this is not the greatest neighborhood in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. This is High Street, Columbus. A lot of muggings, a lot of nefarious activity happens.
Didn't you call it something district? I feel like every time something's called a district, nothing good ever happens there.
Where they had originally walked down to was the Arena District.
Oh, Arena District. It's always like, yeah, the gun toting district, or the robber district.
Up on High Street where the tuna was is the gun tote district. It's just a long street of bars and a lot of partying and a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
And a lot of people starting shit and getting into shit.
Okay.
So maybe he made it out the bar. Maybe he made it out that back door. And maybe something happened to him. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe he talked to some girl that he wasn't supposed to talk to.
Yeah.
And a fella didn't appreciate it. Or maybe there was just a guy sitting in the bar who wasn't all, a second year med student, who wasn't 27 years old and had done this 500 times and was shy and couldn't muster up the courage to go talk to a girl, but could muster up enough courage to go beat the shit out of the dude who could go talk to a girl.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see where you're going with it.
Because I've seen those types of scenarios before in bars.
Yeah.
And I've known those types of guys. I've been in fights with those types of guys before.
Yeah.
And they exist. So I know that's a possible scenario.
See, when you started that, I thought you were going to say, like, a guy sitting at the bar, maybe a loner by himself, eyeballing people at the bar and looking like essentially a wolf in sheep's clothing, meaning like some cold-blooded killer is out on the hunt.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to get to there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to jump ahead there.
That's I don't know. Maybe we're there. We'll go with that one.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's stick with that. Have you ever heard of the smiley face killer?
No.
So there's these two former New York detectives that wrote a book about this, and they believe this wholeheartedly. And now there's like a whole following online on Reddit and shit where 20 to 30-year-old attractive upper class, like upper middle to upper class white men go missing and then are found dead in a body of water close to where they went missing with a smiley face spray painted somewhere where either they went missing or where they were found.
Oh shit.
And they think that it's not one serial killer, but an actual network of serial killers in the Midwest that are taking these guys out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. That's like a whole nother level. That's like technology at its worst. It's and like the smiley face is the calling card.
Yeah.
Just say I got one.
Right.
Hit me up on fucking the grinder or Tinder for killers.
But yeah, so like maybe a dark web type website or something where they're
the
all
meat grinder. Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, where they're all gathering up, right?
Yeah.
And so there's I think it was in the last 10 years, there's been over 1,300 men who have vanished that fit that description.
Wow.
In the United States alone.
Yeah.
I had no idea. These are like healthy, fit, between the ages of 20 and 30 men who have gone missing from bars in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of dudes.
No kidding.
So they're saying in the FBI actually considered this scenario and looked into it quite hard when Brian Shaffer went missing.
Yeah.
And then they eventually ruled it out because they like searched up and down the river there's like a river that's like 5 blocks from where this bar is. And they searched up and down that river. They never found anything. His body's never been found.
Wow.
Really people don't know if he's alive or dead to this day.
Yeah.
So another scenario is he could have changed or disguised himself and then exited the bar and then slipped away and changed his life and went and moved to the Virgin Islands or some shit and is living on a beach playing a guitar.
Yeah, smoking weed.
But then that goes back into the first scenario. Like, why would he walk away? Like, do you really think he would walk away from his life and walk away from his brother and his dad and his family that's left just because his mom died?
I mean, grief does crazy things to people.
Yeah.
If she was the glue that kept that family together, once that was severed, maybe he just was like, it might not even be like it like there's a double-edged sword of this of like it's either he left because he's like, you know what, I'm gonna better myself, or maybe he was so depressed he goes, you all would do better without me, and then left.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
He was in his second year in med school, though. I mean, I think he was about to be making a lot of money working as a doctor somewhere.
I mean, money. I mean, he might not have been happy. He just wanted to play jam music and smoke that weed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good scenario.
Yeah.
The last scenario is right behind this bar
Mm-hmm.
was a construction zone. They're building like a new building back there. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you went out the back door, you basically went right out into the construction zone. Now, there was a lot of video camera footage of the construction zone.
Yeah.
And there was a chain link fence that was pretty tall around the entire construction zone. But a lot of people believe that something happened to him and he either went into the construction zone or was put into the construction zone and then was concreted over to never be seen again. And that's why we've never found his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand the question you asked your stepfather earlier now.
Right. So before we started recording, I was telling Alex that I called my stepdad today, who is like a foreman for a concrete company, and was like, hey, how easy would it be to tell if you were about to concrete over top of a dead body? And he was very concerned with my question. As he should be.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I'm like, okay, so let's say best case scenario for somebody trying to hide the body is maybe they dug a little hole under like a floor that was about to be poured and then buried him under there to keep him like under the dirt, right?
Yeah.
Like I would, like if I was going to try and hide somebody under a concrete floor, that's probably how I would go about it.
It would make the most sense because the people laying the concrete wouldn't see anything.
Okay, so I asked him that. I said, does that make sense to you? And he said, no, absolutely not. And here's why. Because the dirt where they're about to pour the concrete is all compacted down.
Yeah.
So if somebody dug that up, it would be extremely noticeable. And they would clearly see that somebody dug that up.
Yeah.
On top of that, you can't even get to the dirt because they have plastic over top of the dirt, and then they have wire mesh over top of the plastic before they pour the concrete.
What if he was put into already wet concrete?
Well, this happened on a late Friday night, Saturday morning. If you know anything about people working for the city government laying concrete, that shit don't happen late at night on a Friday night.
True.
Nor on the weekends. So nobody would even be coming back to that job site till Monday morning.
But what if they had laid it earlier that day and it was wet enough to hide them?
It wouldn't stay that wet that long.
Yeah,
by 2 o'clock in the morning, by 2:30 in the morning, that's already hard enough where you can walk on it. Even if they didn't finish pouring it till 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So that basically, he would have to be there a couple of days, and then they would come in Monday morning, and then it would have to be like a combined effort of conspiracy between like the manager of the job and all the workers to be like, okay, let's not call the police and let's just go ahead and pour this floor.
Yeah. We got to get this Cheesecake Factory built. We can't push this back any further.
Right. So I think we should just throw that whole scenario out. I don't even think that's a possibility.
What if he never left the bar?
What if he never left the bar?
That's the part that keeps resonating in my head. What if he never left the bar?
So this is something that I thought of when I first heard this story. And I did a little research online for like 2 minutes to try and find out, because this is exactly what I thought. The police only pulled the footage from that night.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't pull from the next day or from the next morning or from any time that weekend.
Yeah.
Just that night. Okay. Have you ever seen the movie Inside Man with Clive Owens and Denzel Washington?
No, I don't think I have.
Well, Clive Owens hides inside of the bank and the bank closes, and then he robs the bank after the bank's already closed.
Yeah.
And he's already in there, and they close up for the night, and he's already stashed in there. That's why they call it Inside Man, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's like hiding inside the vault or some shit. And that scenario came to mind. Like the first time I heard this story, I thought that like he could have found a spot inside the bar, and everybody's too busy herding cats to get them all out, that they don't see him in his hiding spot. Everybody wraps up, mops the floor, does whatever they do before they leave. They're too busy worried about smoking a J and getting shit clean and getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
And they do that, and then off they go. And now he's by himself in the bar, and now he can just walk out whenever he wants. And at that point, cameras are off. Nobody's looking for him.
Nice.
Right?
Right. Like, hell, I was actually even thinking, what if you paid off one of the bartenders to like stash him underneath something? Or see, originally I was thinking like, what if you like, I don't know if this place has a basement or anything. Like, what if you went down the basement and somehow like got like he wiggled, I don't know, in a wall or something, and then he got stuck in the wall and couldn't get out.
Oh, and died in the wall.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, what if he like went in the basement? There was something he thought he could like wiggle through. You know, like this is the part of like if you ever go spelunking or whatever, we go underneath the ground. But like if you get stuck like with your chest, like your body will start to swell, and you won't be able to get out.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
They did massive renovations on this bar, like a couple years after that, where they took down walls and everything else. Dude was never found.
Damn.
He wasn't in there. He wasn't inside the bar. And now in 2018, that bar is now gone. They've completely tore that whole place down.
All the evidence is gone.
Never found him. He was not inside there.
Did they do like any they could send out like almost like a sonar on the concrete of next door?
I don't know if they did that, but they did have a cadaver dog go.
Yeah.
Through the bar and through the construction area. No hits.
Yeah.
No hits. So of those scenarios, what do you think is your lean to?
I think I'm starting to lean towards either maybe he got in a fight, fell into the construction site, but I'm kind of really leaning towards he just walked away. He goes, I'm going to go teach English in Peru or something.
Right. Actually, he hated English. That was his most hated subject.
Oh, really?
He could have been a doctor in Peru, though.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I think happened. Okay.
All right.
He was recruited by the CIA.
Okay.
Hear me out. Hear me out on this.
I like where this is going.
All right. His mom had just died.
Yeah.
Has no relationship with his father to speak of. That right there is prime real estate for a spy. Okay. You don't have a family that you're worried about, that you want to go home to.
Yeah.
The only one he really cared about that much was his mom, and she's gone now.
True.
Okay. This guy had a genius level IQ, could literally do whatever he wanted. 6'2", very athletically fit, very handsome, can blend in to a crowd. I think he's prime. He's a prime individual to be recruited by the CIA to be a spy.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take him in. They say, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to have you go to this bar. We're going to have you go out with this buddy. You're going to pretend to get drunk, right? He's going to be doing shots. He's not even going to notice that you're not actually doing the shots.
Yeah.
Just pretend to get drunk, okay? You're going to end up back at this bar. We already have the back door ready to go. As soon as it's closing time, make your way, find a way to get away from your group. Just walk away from them.
Uh-huh.
Go out the back door. We'll be waiting out there with a car. Off we go.
Yeah.
Right? So then the police get a hold of the video footage of the hallway in the back, and that's why they won't release it, because he's met with two guys in suits at the back door.
Yeah.
Jumps into the back of a Lincoln, and off they go.
Not bad.
Right?
Yeah.
Now he's over in Russia fucking doing some shit with the CIA.
I mean,
probably got a little facial construction surgery to make him look just a little bit different.
Just enough where people won't recognize him.
Right. And one of his cousins said that every time he went to he met up with him at Christmas or some shit, dude had a different identity every time he freaking showed up at Christmas. One year he had long hair, one year he had a beard, then the next year he had a goatee and short hair, and then he had long hair and a big long fucking soul patch or some shit. He's changing his look every single year.
Yeah.
It was kind of like an inside joke with their family. What's Brian going to look like this year? So he's already got the master of disguise going on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So that's my goal. That's what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking he got recruited by the CIA. They approached him. I think that final dinner with his dad was his last little, his last dinner with his dad, basically.
Yeah. This is the last you'll see of me.
Yeah.
My name's going to be Agent 437, and
and that's why he wanted his brother to come out so he could hang out with his brother one last time. That's why he gave his girlfriend that last goodbye call,
Yeah.
And then that was it. He was gone. Maybe he was going to try and flirt with some girls a couple of last times, and then that was that. He was out. Then listen to this.
All right.
2 years later, his dad dies in a freak storm accident where it had Ohio had this freak windstorm, and a bunch of trees and shit got blown down. And supposedly in his backyard, a tree limb fell from a tree in his backyard, hit him in the head, and killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I think his dad found out that he was a spy and was going to come public with it, and they offed him for it.
Oh, really? I was sitting there thinking he's not actually dead. He found out. They're like, look, here's your options. He's like, you can fake your own and go hang out with your son, or
go into witness protection program.
Apparently, yeah. Just pull another fake his own.
Yeah, that could have happened too. I like that idea even better. That makes us less of an asshole government.
Yeah. Or they're like, hey, we need a father-son team. This is a 90s spy movie.
Yeah. So, but okay. So imagine you're the younger brother in this scenario, though.
Oh, that is rough.
Like your mom dies, your brother disappears, and then your dad dies.
Yeah.
Your whole immediate family is gone in a 3-year time period.
That's wild.
Yeah. That's rough.
That's when you grab a guitar and go to wherever and just hang out on the beach.
Yeah. So that's my final solution. That's what I think happened. I think he Clive Owened the shit. I think he was the inside man.
Yeah.
And he snuck out and got into the Lincoln with the 2 suits, and now he's working for the CIA somewhere off in the distance.
Yeah. Running Black Ops.
Yeah.
He's the team medic.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. He's the team medic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. He's probably in the walls somewhere. No,
They're a big pile of concrete.
he's the Ohio Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm still leaning towards he stepped away.
Yeah.
Because you would think if like a fight broke out afterwards, someone would have saw it and said something by now. Like,
so here's a little bit more information to lean more your way. Okay.
Yeah.
When his dad died, they had the memorial service thing, and they had a obituary thing posted online, right?
Right.
Somebody commented on the obituary saying, quote, "I love you, Dad. Love, Brian." And it said on there, from the Virgin Islands. Okay. Now people saw this and freaked out. Like, holy fuck, he's really in the Virgin Islands. He really is still alive.
Yeah.
And even the police got involved and started searching into it to see if there was any legitimacy to this. And they found out that the post was actually from an IP address that was at an internet cafe in Columbus. Okay.
Wow.
So they think that, so the police think, and what I heard on these different podcasts I listened to about it, that they're saying, okay, well, it was just some asshole punk who thought it'd be funny to write this and like just cause a stir or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what if it was really him, though?
Yeah. He was at the funeral.
There was no video footage of who posted the post at the internet cafe.
Yeah.
They have no record. The guy paid with cash. They have no record of who it was that posted that.
Yeah.
It could have been him.
I think it was.
It could have been him.
He Jason Bourned it.
Like, because normally, who does that? Like, it's 2009. If you're going to post something online, you're going to post it from your computer.
Oh, for sure.
Like, who even goes to these at that point? Who goes to freaking internet cafes anymore?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. So he goes in there, posts this thing on like of all random things, he posts that on there, and then walks out, never to be seen or heard from again.
Wild. Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to come walking behind me right now on this beach.
Yeah, right. Like waving.
Yeah.
As he walks by.
Like, there he is. There he is. See, there he is. Ah! Come up out of the water, throw his hair back, strut up on the sand.
Did you miss me?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we did. That's the story of Brian Shaffer,
Yeah.
aka 0077.
0077.
You down with that scenario?
Yeah, no, for sure. I like that. I feel like I like the CIA one for sure. It was like the most, I don't know, like I'm leaning towards he walked away, so that has a little bit more of a better storyline to it than the rest, where it's like, yeah, CIA, why not?
Yeah.
Not just like, I've just been wandering around, came back to here, did this, maybe he's living on the hobo trail,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be. Could
Yeah.
be.
Because I guarantee you they use internet cafes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that could be a reason. He
Yeah.
came back into town, jumped off the train,
Yeah.
saw his dad had died. It's like, oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah. Love you, Pops. And
Yeah.
then jumped back on the train.
Out he goes.
Yeah. Into the great wild yonder.
That's right.
Well, if you just happen to find yourself out in the great wild yonder and you're looking for some soberless thoughts, where can you find soberless thoughts, Alex?
You can find all Soberless Thoughts on every social media. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it on Instagram. All that is going to be at Soberless Thoughts. You can also go to Twitter at Think Soberless. Don't forget to also like, share, and comment on all posts, all events, everything that is Soberless Thoughts. And if you got any questions, comments, or want to give us a good idea on episodes or anything like that, feel free to email us at soberlessthoughts@gmail.com.
If you see a guy over on the corner and you think he's lonely, go up to him and you say, "Hey, buddy, you okay?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm all right." It's like, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to be Brian Shaffer, would you?"
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Nah, man, I'm not Brian Shaffer." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. By the way, have you ever heard this podcast called Soberless Thoughts? Check it out. Soberlessthoughts.com." And he'd be like, "Man, you know what happened to me? I found myself inside the skillet. And I tried to stay cheesy and I tried to keep it greasy.
That's right.
But then I just had to flip on out."
You had to.